practical use. It is paramount to meet these challenges as it will help the victims or other concerned persons to convey information to the police faster and more conveniently, and will empower victims in sensitive cases who may fear going to police station and opening up to strangers to convey the grievance from a safe and trusted environment. As former United Nations Secretary General Kofi Annan said, knowledge is power, information is liberating. But without the right tools and training, this power remains inaccessible to many within our law enforcement agencies. What are the logistical challenges? Another change of great importance is the collection of forensic evidence, and its videography has been made mandatory for offences punishable for 7 years or more, as per section 1763 of the BNSS. However, this increased need for sample collection and analysis brings with it logical issue of lack of equipment, trained staff, etc. Just last week, I had a occasion to deal with a situation in a sensitive case where FSL report was not received for months and orders had to be made to send the samples to private labs. Unfortunately, this is not a lone aberration, and in many sensitive and heinous offences, FSL reports remain pending for years and trials go on without the reports being filed. FSL reports remain nowadays, even in quasi-criminal cases like check bouncing cases, people have started sending the checks to FSL, thus increasing the load on the labs. With the additional importance attached to audio-video recordings, the burden on the lab is bound to increase. Emergent steps need to be taken to augment the FSL laboratories, including the staff and equipment. As per recent reports, establishment of additional off-campus of the National Forensic Science University and new Central Forensic Science Laboratory would address the shortage of trained forensic manpower, elevate the caseload pendency of forensic laboratories, and align with the Government of India's goal of securing a high conviction rate. The steps are being taken to address the issue, but the need is to do a lot more faster. Infrastructural challenges. Emphasis has been given to the use of audio-video electronic means at various stages of trial. As per section 251 of BNSS, charge frame can be explained to the accused via audio-video electronic means as well. Section 254 allows taking of evidence of prosecution witnesses and public servants by electronic means. Section 265 allows examination of witnesses by electronic means. All this would require that the court must be infrastructurally sufficient to allow smooth conduct of a trial. Many times, court might have video conferencing facilities, but they not have additional infrastructure such as mics for lawyers, cameras for streaming the court proceedings. This distinction between hybrid hearing and video conferencing was noted by Honorable Chief Justice of India while issuing direction to high courts all over India that lack of Wi-Fi or internet connectivity, courts not being equipped with necessary peripherals which are necessary for conducting hybrid hearings. In an effort to address the perennial issue of delays in judicial process, BNSS introduces strict timelines across various stages of trial. These time-bound provisions are designed to expedite the resolution of cases, thereby reducing the backlog that has plagued the system for years. The judges also need to find a way to adapt to these timelines to ensure that full effect is given to the provision. Challenges in interpretation. The transition to BNSS represents a substantial shift in the legal landscape, necessitating a careful and thorough examination of each section of the new code. Judges, particularly in trial court, must meticulously compare the new provisions with existing precedents to determine where the old interpretation of the law remains applicable and where fresh legal assessments are required. This process is essential for ensuring that new laws are applied correctly and consistently, and they harmonize with the established legal framework. With such a significant transformation in overall criminal justice system, it is natural to question if the old judicial interpretations and rulings will retain their relevance once the new provisions are implemented. This position in law is quite subtle. When a statute is repealed and reenacted, and the words in the repealed statute are reproduced in the new statute, they would be interpreted in the same sense as put on them under the repealed act. For instance, one of the foremost strategies to address the implementation Can we get 2002, 4 and 25? To summarize, steps are being taken on multiple fronts to ensure the transition is painless. However, the process is an ongoing one, and as we continue to navigate these complex issues, it is crucial to remember that our legal and judicial system must evolve to address these challenges.
His contributions include pioneering critical criminal law and advancing concepts like victim justice in India. So please join me to welcome sir.
Thank you so much. Good morning.
Honorable Mr. Justice Naresh Kumar, Mr. Manish, Additional Chief Secretary, Government CS, and Chaya Sharma, IPS Special Police Training, Mr. Bharat Parashar, the Law Secretary, Government of NCT Delhi. In fact, in next 10 to 15 minutes, I'll try to just have few conversations with you. But as I must point out that two, very illustrious speakers have already covered a lot of things which are required to be, said in terms of framing that background. So I need not to actually do that. I would straightway start with the core theme which is slated for discussion today, that is the challenges in terms of training. As I can understand that here we have all the organs of criminal justice administration present in this hall. So whatever I am saying considering the requirements from that viewpoint. This time is really very limited, so I may not be able to really concentrate on many things in great detail. But let me very subtly say a few things to you. Two very central things which are going to be crucial as to decide the fate of these laws in a drastic manner. That is the institutional capacity. Law may be very ambitious, but the fact remains it is the state of institutional capacity which is going to be crucial as well as central. That is one. And second is the institutional competence. Because when we say capacity, I am essentially talking about those logistic resources, manpower, infrastructure, which is very important. Without that, and criminal law is in the concurrent list of the Constitution of India, which means every state is in a very peculiar situation as to the implementation of these laws in terms of allocating the budgets that they are supposed to invest in order to create that institutional capacity. So you being the leader in their own field must assess the requirement of logistic infrastructure and that kind of capacity too. Because capacity deficit has been a factor affecting crucially the performance of criminal justice system even before. These laws do not make much difference. Criminal law continues to be the same. I'll come to that point. Second is institutional competence, which is essentially the training and capacity building of the organs of the system. The organs are structured in such a way that on the lowest rung we have a lot of people who have the onus of implementing these laws, so constabulary, the biggest chunk, and other civil administration people who also have some role to play as far as the implementation. So what is their state of training with respect to this thing? That is going to be very, very important. Let me give you some idea through some statistics as to where we stand when I talk. But before that, I also say two things. Generally, there is a trend and wave of programs on the criminal law subject throughout the country. And it is posed as if there is going to be something very big to happen. I am telling you, those who are working in the ground, they will take it as if they were doing, since long back. It's not something new. Only some laws have changed. I wish to say just two things to you. Those would be the central takeaway of all what I am going to say in a couple of minutes. One is, irrespective of technical changes which have taken place with respect to these laws, the principles informing the operation of criminal law continue to be the same. Principles don't change. So whenever you come across any dilemma, you will find that what are those principles? So principle of natural justice, principle of fairness, principle of equity, principle of burden of proof, principle of innocence, principle of providing legal assistance to the petitioners or the complainants, to the victim of crime, they ought to be treated in a very humanitarian way. So these things are not going to change. So if you find some provision to be a kind of riddle for you, just you have to act sometime very bona fide. Every officer may not be knowing everything. But these, if you go along this principle, you are according that equity, that fairness, that kind of sensitivity in dealing, I think you would be on the right side of the law. That is very basic thing I will say. So generally in the classic scholarship of criminal law, those who toe the principled aspects of criminal law, they never do any wrong. Because I give you an example. A lot of people are saying a police Raj will come. Police Raj will come because you seem to have provided extended custody to the police and all those things. I am not getting into those technicality. I can discuss what is the reality of that. But what I am saying, police custody was always there. So do you think any kind of aberration or excesses only happen when there is an increased duration of police custody available? If it has to happen, it can happen at any point of time. So issues affecting the criminal justice system before new criminal laws and after they are going to be the same. It is not going to change. The complaints against police will continue to be of the same nature. I am telling you today. As if in the IPC everything was right. Everything was not right. In fact, NHRC has taken note of and successive reports of the Law Commission have pointed out those problems of corruption, high-handedness, custodial death, torture, everything was there. So it's not because of these new criminal law anything is going to happen. But I am telling you the challenging things. That is the strength of police force in India, which stands at 20.94 lakhs. And for these officers, there are only 211 training institutions in the country. These are the things which you have to see. This puts the average workload on each institution 12,744 to be trained per institute. Although the population is not equally divided, India Justice Report said 1.3 of the total police budget is used for training purpose between up to 2021 and before that. 20 states have increased their police funding, but only 3 of these states, namely Gujarat, Arunachal and Union Territory of Pondicherry, have used the modernization budget entirely. Similarly for court and all those. But I am very happy the recent statistics which is coming out from the government sources, more than 6,31,305 people were trained across the country ahead of implementation. Among these 6,986 were police officers, 3,642 were prosecutors, 8,172 were the judiciary, and 1,637 from forensic department, and 10,800 something from prison officer. So this process is going on, and I would say we need to only focus those areas which have drastically changed in these laws and what are going to be the challenges for those. I tell you very briefly about some of those very, very important. Now, in 98 offenses almost, the police discretion becomes very crucial. Here a lot of problems are going to happen. Discretion in terms of whether to have a police preliminary inquiry or go straight away for the registration of FIR. This is also very confusing because this section 173 provides police officer may cause a preliminary inquiry. It is not binding for the police officer if, in his opinion, an act discloses the occurrence of a cognizable offense. But I am saying 90, so you have to actually check when discretion is provided to the police, which is now available in 98 offenses. Those are below 7 years. And below 7 years are not normal offenses. Even a case of acid attack to a woman, it would come under less than 7 years. It carries the discretion with the police to register FIR or to cause a preliminary inquiry. So I think the police department is supposed to sensitize the officer that you need not to actually delay if on the face of it the act discloses clearly an offense of cognizable nature. Otherwise you would be in pre-Lalita Kumari era, which was so pathetic. This discretion has been provided police to cut the delays or deal with fake complaints, etc. Now you have to check another thing. The attachment of property powers have also been provided to the police. That is another very crucial. Earlier it was only vested with the courts. The court in their discretion used to decide and order. Now in certain. So wherever the leverage has been provided, I think the problem emanates from those. And the apprehension is that since these powers, zero FIR, and also e-search and seizure, these are going to be very, very crucial. Whether how these searches and seizures are being recorded and uploaded on e-praman, which is the requirement now. So we have to actually be very careful in terms of dealing with this. As far as the trial courts are concerned or prosecutions are concerned, since the admissibility of e-evidence and electronic evidence has been made very peculiar and very important feature of that, it means anything which is computer related can be a primary. But it is for the prosecution to properly gather these evidences, and there, because the defense is going to be very, very attacking, I am telling you, because they will challenge everything in the manner, because the manner of collection of e-evidence or e-searches output are going to be very, very crucial. So we need to understand that it provides huge scope for the defense lawyers now to challenge the procedures which are e-focused now. So I think a lot of training has to be centered, because police officer is supposed to record through his mobile and he has to upload section 65B certificate to be obtained, and all those things are very, very crucial. They are not very simple. Time is not there to actually elaborate all those things. But I can imagine that a lot of challenges to come from this particular sector, because for prosecutor and judges also, section 530 is now very important in Bharatiya Nagarik Suraksha Sanhita. It provides all inquiry, trials, procedures to take place in e-manner, online manner, through virtual manner. Now the question is, this will be demanded very often, and the recording of a statement of witnesses, production of witnesses. Now production of witnesses may come with a lot of problems, because now witnesses can be managed or manipulated so easily when they are produced online before, because their demeanor, their positioning, all those. So I think, but the hope is very important, which we need to continue to keep, is that, just imagine for a second, somebody to please interrupt me when I have to finish, because I have lost the sense of time. 2 minutes, okay, please. So what I am saying that it is very important for prosecutors and judges also to be wary of some of these things, because now trial in absentia is another very, very, I would say, unusual provision which has been introduced. But the procedure which is associated with this entire thing is going to be again very, very critical. But last thing that I would say, please remember that the day the IPC was implemented, can you imagine the day one of IPC? IPC was never before what you have seen before July 2024. That was the evolved form of law. you have to wait and exercise lot of patience with law. Because textual law and the evolved law, there are two different things. You have in your hand at the moment textual law. You have to wait, see, watch, and be the process of this change, which would translate into and transform into an evolved form of the law. And this law evolving will continue to be there when you implement the law. The operational aspects of law and textual aspects of law are two different things. You are going to be the partner in the journey of operation of the law, and therefore you will be the real contributor of law. I'm telling you, we have been in the process of making these laws, but I am waiting those crucial inputs to be coming from you, which would factor into the reshaping of these laws significantly. Courts will reinterpret these laws. Certain sections may be rearranged. There would be a lot of things are going. So next 5 to 10 years are going to be very, very crucial. You have to give, according to me, 5 to 10 years to these laws to completely evolve. Until then, you have to be the part of this journey. And this will continue to open like that. So that these are a couple of things, but as I have said, if you are good at the principles of law, you can never fault at the technical aspects of law. Thank you for your patience.
Thank you so much, sir. Now I kindly invite Additional Chief Secretary, sir, Mr. Manish Kumar Gupta, sir, to the podium. Please join me in welcoming, sir.
Thank you. Honorable Justice Mr. Riti Raj Awasthi, Member Lokpal. Honorable Justice Shri Manoj Kumar Ori, Judge, Delhi High Court. Professor G.S. Vajpayee, Vice Chancellor, National Law University. Shri Naresh Kumar Ji, Chief Secretary, Delhi. Ms. Chaya Sharma, Special Commissioner Police Training. Shri Bharat Parashar Ji, Principal Secretary Law. Shri K. Mahesh, Special Director Training, and all my fellow participants to this workshop. A very good morning to you all. It is indeed an honor to participate in today's workshop cum training program on the topic that is foundational to the justice and societal well-being, that is, the challenges to the implementation of new criminal law codes in India. Criminal law, at its core, is about safeguarding the rights of individuals while ensuring the justice is served. This area of law is not just about punishing